Welcome to the Unshaken Men's Podcast, where men are built, not born. I'm your host, Jonathan Miller, bringing you real talk for real men, rooted in Christ. Like and subscribe wherever you're listening, and check us out on Instagram at Unshaken Men's Podcast. All right, welcome back, guys, to the Unshaken Men's Podcast. Today, I'm joined by Jay Brown here in his office. Actually, this is our first mobile episode, so that's pretty exciting. He is the Dream Team Director here at Church of the Highlands Grants Mill campus. He's the co-host of the What You Gonna Do podcast.
Yeah, man.
And an exceptional leader behind the scenes, as well as the way you just kind of live your life. So, man, I'm grateful for you and glad to have you on the show today.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. So let's kind of dive in, starting from, you used to be a history teacher, right?
Used to be a math teacher.
Math teacher,
Yeah.
yes. All right, so tell me how a math teacher goes to leader at a church.
Man, honestly, it is all God. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
I walk on property here at Grants Mill every day, and I'm like, I don't understand how I even got here. But kind of the story, you know, I graduated college, my undergrad in 2012, and went right into teaching. Like, I got hired at the school I interned with as a teacher. And at around that same time, we started to be interested in church. So, like, a long backstory of, you know, my journey with faith, but right before that time, I had a little church hurt, a little bit of ministry hurt. And so coming out of that, you know, I mean, around 2012 was when me and January started dating, and one of her friends kept inviting us to go to the church. And so because I was dating her and I wanted to be around her, I went because she wanted to go.
Yeah.
And so I was teaching. So I taught for 8 years, loved it. But within that time frame, but between 2012 and 2019, when I came on for full-time ministry, we were just serving the local church, loving it. Could have did that for the rest of our life. I could have died in the classroom. I tell people that all the time. I could have taught math for the rest of my life and been super excited about it and loved it and had passion for it. And but then God started to stir this whole ministry thing in the mix of that, because like I didn't know people even did full-time ministry, you know, at that point. And so God started to stir ministry into this thing, and people were calling out different things. And I've always wanted to be a principal, so I was in school to be a principal as well, especially an elementary school principal. They just always got to have fun, you know, like. And so something came up here to where I got to kind of use those gifts and talents in the ministry space, and you know, I felt like God called us to do it, so we did it, you know. And you know, I tell people all the time, like, I was just as happy in the classroom. I would have been just as happy as a principal, but I could not have seen what God has done with me and my family in the ministry space. So that's kind of a very shorthand version of the story. But honestly, it's just listening to God and answering the call.
That's cool. What's something that you maybe have brought over from teaching into leadership now? Is there just like a lesson that you learned at some point teaching that you now kind of still use? Yeah,
man, I feel like clarity is the thing that, like, whether you're teaching, I taught high school math, so like whether you're teaching, you know, 16-year-olds geometry or you're helping adults take their next steps, like clarity in what is laid out before them is extremely important. So I'm teaching somebody about the Pythagorean theorem. Like, I got to tell them exactly what it is. I got to walk them through the process of how to do it. I got to let them try it and fail, and then I correct, and then we continue to grow in that skill, right? It's no different than teaching someone how to walk into their spiritual gifts. It's like you expose them to you help them find what God has gifted them with, right? And then you walk alongside of them. And help them kind of mature those gifts. You give them opportunity to fail. You coach it, and then you continue to help them grow in that skill. You know, and so it's really the same process over and over and over. But I think the big thing is just like clarity and steps for people. It's like the only difference is I'm not teaching people a formula of A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I'm teaching them, hey, like, this is how you can use the way God wired you and the way, you know, your giftings to help see what part you play in the Great Commission. So
yeah, that's good. I feel like it's I struggle at least sometimes with the actually walking alongside and letting them fail, because I get so frustrated. I just want to tell them how to do it.
Yeah, well, it takes like a maturity and humility to be okay with knowing that God brought this person with this gift for this reason, and being okay that it may not be done things may not get done the right way, but the right way is people's best way. If that makes sense. And that's a mindset shift, because we're trained so much that there's right and wrong, and it's just like, and we're walking through this now with our 4-year-old daughter. It's like, hey, we're not going to celebrate that she did everything right. We're going to celebrate that she did her best. And so when you get to the core of things, is like when you're helping people mature and you're helping people on this pursuit of trying to figure out why God even put them on this planet, is like you got to kind of be okay with them like learning in the process. And the only way they learn is by failing. Like nobody, like, I played baseball my entire life. I remember my strikeouts more than I do my home runs. And it's like, because you learn from your strikeouts. You don't really learn from your home runs. And so I think I can pinpoint a game. I went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts from my sophomore year of college, my freshman year of college. And I remember who was pitching. I remember exactly where I was. And I've had multiple games where I hit multiple home runs and I can't pinpoint any of them. You know, so like, I think the thought of letting people, you know, as a leader, being okay with people failing and then correcting. The way I tell my team of leaders here is like, if people aren't failing and we aren't helping them on their next steps, we're not needed. It's like, there would be no reason for us to be, people don't need a leader if they know how to do everything, you know? And so I think the big piece of it is like giving people clarity in the steps that they have, but then allow them to just like exercise them.
Do you think that someone can actually reach their full potential having never failed? If they only have successes and never failed, do you think they can reach their full potential?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's one perfect person who walked the face of the earth ever. I feel like, you know, the rest of us are just the accumulation of our failures and what we learn from them. It's like, failing is one of the best things you can do, because it gives you the ability to see that, like, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
You know, then you're not afraid to try. I would say a person that's never failed has never tried.
A person that has never failed has
never tried. It's just no, like, if you've lived your life and you've had no failure, you've never tried anything hard. And I mean, I can't say that with complete confidence, but I can say it with pretty high confidence.
Yeah, I had something recently that I felt like God was I was on the fence as to whether I felt like he was calling me to do it or not. And I was sitting there writing out kind of a plan for it, and I'll announce it before too long on the podcast because it is going to happen. But I felt a sense of fear of failure as I was planning it out. And as soon as I felt that, oh my goodness, I might not be able to pull this off, I thought, that's it. Like, I got to do it then. Because if you're not afraid of failing at something, and if you're not trying hard enough that you might fail, then you're just kind of living a mediocre life. Then
I think fear of failure will mess up your faith. I think it'll make you, like, you know, if you don't have that healthy fear of, like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I mean, that's... But God. You have a faith piece of it is, like, I think God loves that. I think, like, that don't mean it's going to work the way you desire it to work every time, or the thing is going to happen the way you desire it to happen every time. But I think God smiles on us when we say, hey, God, I think you put this thing in my heart, and I don't even see how it's going to happen, but I know you're with me.
Yeah, I think it's a good reminder, a way that he reminds us that how helpless we are without him. You know, we can only do so much without his anointing and favor in our lives. So
I mean, it's the whole story of, you know, Jesus calling Peter out of the boat, right? And it's like, Peter wasn't just afraid of, like, walking on water. He was afraid to fail. Yeah,
it's not the walking on water he's afraid of. It's the sinking part. It
wasn't the actual act. It was I'm going to drown if I do this. You know, and I mean, how often I would argue that, I mean, I wasn't there obviously, but I would argue that if Peter didn't have a fear of failure, he would have walked on the water with no problem.
Yeah. Well, the problem with what Peter's failure is he took his eyes off of the provider, off of Jesus, and he looked at the waves, the thing that he was afraid of. And as soon as he stopped looking at Jesus and looked at the problem and felt that fear, that's when he started to sink. And Jesus still caught him even in that sinking. And so even when we fail, or when we focus on the fear of failure, Jesus is still there with us and will pull us out of that.
For sure. That's awesome. I mean, nothing is a surprise to him. So it's like, he's just.
He's not like, dadgummit, Jay, you messed up again.
I will tell you though, the best perspective on that concept though is being a parent. I'm telling, like, as you look at your child and you're like, hey, I know the choice for you here. You know, like, I know, like, hey, just go ahead. My kid is very fearless, but then she has these moments too where, like, she just doesn't want to disappoint. She doesn't want to let people down. And really, that all stems from failure to me. Like, it's just like, if I'm afraid of failure, then these other, you know, supplementary, so that's not the word. Supplementary pieces, emotions that come with that actually stem from fear of failure. So, but having a kid is like, hey, like, even if you do fail, like, we're here to pick you up. And I think that is the ultimate, like,
having that safety net to fail.
It's the same, but we have the same thing with our Father. We just don't see it the same way. And so,
That is really, really good. I was thinking about yesterday, actually, impactful leaders in my life, and the leaders that I have done the best under are the ones that allow me to fail. They just give me the free rein to fail. The ones that micromanage me and say, okay, do this exact way, and that way you'll get this end result, are the ones that I usually don't excel under. So, and you're very much a leader, like, you preach what you're talking about. You actually live what you're talking about. You allow your teams to fail. You really are very hands off. Hey, I'm here for you if you need it. But
I truly believe, and this isn't me gassing up anything, like, I truly believe the best ideas are not going to come from me. Like, I just truly believe the best systems aren't going to come from me. Like, I know me, you know? Like, I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I know what I would want, but I truly believe, like, your wife is a great example. Like, she has a better eye for something on one of our teams than I will ever have. So why would I even, like, micromanage her at all? You know, like, because it's going to be better. My favorite thing to say to leaders is, like, they start explaining to me what they're doing. It's like, hey, look, I know it's going to be great because you're doing it. Like, it's like, you don't have to, like, I don't even want to give you my opinion, because, like, if I start giving you my opinion, you start second guessing what you know is good. And so therefore it's like, just go and be. And if it's wrong, hey, what was right yesterday ain't always right today. And what was wrong yesterday ain't always wrong today. Like, you know, I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and it was talking about AI a little bit. And I love AI, just to be honest. Like, I use it a lot. But it was talking about AI, and it was talking about how, you know, everyone is in this, and many people are in many different camps when it comes to AI right now. It's like, we shouldn't use it, we should use it. And he was talking about how when the Bible was when the printing press came out, that's what it was. When the printing press came out, you know, people were saying that the Bible would never be transcribed through the printing press. Because back then, people would write transcriptions of the Bible before the printing press came out. And they were talking about the purity of the Bible, and like, hey, if it's not handwritten, it will never be in the printing press. Well, you know the first thing printed in the printing press?
What's that?
The Bible.
Wow.
And it's because people have this mindset that, like, what is considered wrong and is today is wrong tomorrow. If that makes sense. And so people, like, it's hard to grow that way. And so, like, at some point, the way we do things here at our church, or even in, like, work, gym fitness is a great way to think of it too. It's like the way you did things 5 years ago has changed now, because we just learned it got better. And so as a leader, you got to have that in your mind too. It's like, hey, what was right yesterday may not be best today. What was wrong yesterday may not be wrong today. And so if you live that way, and you kind of open hand leader and allow people to use their gifts and their talents, and allow them to just put their eye on things and then speak into things, and then allow them to come to fruition, whether they go right or wrong, that's why you're the leader, and you coach it, and you continue to run that cycle over and over. But then if you have, this is the right way to do it, this is the way to do it, this is, you know, this is how we've always done it, then you're never gonna have leaders that want to lead under you.
And it's also just not sustainable either. You're gonna burn out so quickly if you run it that way.
But my goal too is to keep leaders for, like, my goal is to have people that feel like they can grow under me for the rest of their life. And they never get to a place where they're just in a routine doing the thing. Like, you have the ability. That's a personal goal of mine. Is like, hey, if you're under my leadership, you can grow. For the rest of your life. You can have my job. I will show up and do nothing if you want me to. But like there is like, because I think so often we kind of almost strangle leaders a little bit because we want things done the way we want them done. And I'm like, no. Let's just coach it. let's just fix it. Let's coach it. Let's develop. I mean, because I think that's just how you develop people.
Yeah, that's really good. Do you think that there's any difference in the way you lead people based on maybe their personality? You know, some people want to kind of be at least instructed or need that security blanket of some more instructions. Do you lead people a little differently based on their personality?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I am attracted to people that are kind of cowboyish, and so like in the predictive index, I'm a maverick myself, and so I'm usually drawn to leaders. Let's rewind. The way I like to build teams is based on my personality, and that's not like leadership 101. That is like, I like to surround myself with people that have kind of the growth mindset that I kind of think that I have, okay? And so when I'm developing leaders, a lot of times you have to give people what they need. Like some people need more like play in the lines, let's do this instruction. Some people just need a base skeleton of like, hey, this is where we're going, this is where we need to be, this is where I need you to be. Okay, great. But usually if I get to build it, it comes from a place, the leader will be a person that I naturally have a flow with, that I can say, hey, we're going here, here, and here. You do what you do. Okay? That's just kind of the way that I recruit. So recruiting is like the biggest, I think, if you follow college football, like recruited, you usually win the national championship in recruiting. You know what I mean? And so recruiting for me is one of the backbones of building great teams. Is if you do it right, all the other stuff kind of runs itself. So like I'm not looking for a person when I'm looking for people. I'm not looking for a person that can do the thing that I need them to do. I'm looking for a person that just likes to grow and that wants to lead. And
then you can teach them how to
I can teach you how to do anything. Yeah. If you got the attitude that I'm gonna grow and you got the attitude that I love people, I can teach you. Like I'm not a technology person at all, but I could be the dream team check-in coach. You know, like because I can lead people and I want to grow. And so I don't really get caught up in the, I think sometimes we pull our best people off the field to be leaders. And so like if someone's good at the field, like if a great example would be our greeter coach, his name's Reggie. He's one of the best. He was like, I feel like, I don't say this about people, he was made to greet people. Like he was like, he does that.
I saw him just this week outside greeting at one of the doors after a service, just chilling, greeting with everybody else. And he's got one of the largest, probably the largest team.
It's right now it's 196 people.
Wow.
So like I think him on the greeting is like, when he became a coach, I told him, hey, don't ever stop greeting. Like I don't want you to, like, you are the coach of this team because you were made to greet. Don't ever stop greeting. We'll build a structure around you to help you lead the team on Sundays and throughout the week, but I need you to be the example of what a greeter is.
Yeah.
And so I don't take players off the field. And it's like if someone is phenomenal at something, I'm not gonna ask them to become a leader and not let them do that something.
Well, then they'll just be miserable too.
Oh yeah, everybody's not made. Leadership is a spiritual gift. Like everybody's not made to be the leader, quote unquote. I think everybody is a leader, but I don't think everyone is made to be the leader. And so just knowing how to differentiate between what people need and what people like, how do you help? And another big thing is like you always think through the lens of like how are you helping them take their next step. It's like if I take Reggie off the field, he's miserable. He's not growing in God. He's not growing in his leadership. He's just maintaining something I've asked him to do. That's not in his gifting. And so one of the biggest advices I can give any leader out there is like the people you lead, you're always trying to make them better in some form or fashion, not necessarily like get anything done for you. Because they can get things done for you and they don't grow, they're not gonna be around long.
Great leaders grow other leaders.
Yeah, great leaders grow other leaders. That's better language than that one. I couldn't get it out of my head. Great leaders grow other leaders.
We've been up since 4, so I'll give you a pass.
That's true.
That actually reminds me of a quote that I heard you originally say on the What You Gonna Do podcast. I've said it on here at least once that I love so much, and it's shepherds smell like sheep.
Yeah.
Would you kind of expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think the best leaders, one of my favorite coaches I've ever had is a guy named Brett. He's one of my best friends now. He actually launched a church in Bibb County. And the reason he was my favorite coach of all time is because he did everything with us. And so, like, if we were hitting BP, he hit BP with us. If he were taking fly balls, he would come out and take some fly balls sometimes. He would take ground balls sometimes. He was in the weight room with us. He didn't run with us, though, but he did do the weights with us.
He said a line. There's only so much
yeah,
he can do.
he did a lot with us. And so, and for me, it became where, like, I felt like he was in the trenches with us. Mm-hmm. And so what I tell every leader is, like, you never can become a suit. Like, you never can become a person that people feel distant from. Mm-hmm. Shepherds Smell Like Sheep comes out of a book called The Way of the Shepherd, which I usually read it once a year. It's only 94 pages. Mm-hmm. It's like a 45-minute audible read. It's awesome. And on 2-speed. I read on 2-speed. So
your brain works on 2-speed all the time.
Yeah. And so Shepherds Smell Like Sheep is just, it's a principle in the book that, like, you never can be too far away from the floor of wherever your leadership pyramid looks like. And so for me, I call it being as flat as possible. Mm-hmm. Now, we care the way, there's right over 1,100 Dream Teamers, so obviously you can't be in the lives of each and every one of them, but I can try to make it as flat as I possibly can, and I can try to be around them as much as I can. And so for me, what that looks like is Sunday morning is a prime opportunity that at least 500 of them serve on a Sunday morning. And so every Sunday morning, I try to make eye contact with every last one of them and high-five them, tell them I appreciate their serving today. And then the team I lead directly is all our leaders of those teams. I try to get weekly communication with them. And so there'll never be a time that I feel like I am distant away from the bottom line of, in my context, a dream team. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I am just a dream teamer. I throw Chick-fil-A sandwiches out. I greet doors. I high five. I do, like, schedule me to be with your team. Mm-hmm. And I feel like what that does is, and some of it is PR. Some of it is like, I need you to know that I'm in here with you. But what it also does is it makes you approachable. Mm. And when you become approachable, then you can really get into the lives of people and really see, I don't like that and some of this is, it has to happen because of scale. Like, I don't like that I have to hear from a leader about another person on their team all the time. Sometimes I just want to know myself. Like, I want to be the person that asks, the person on the parking team who's just hanging out, like, hey, how are you today? Like, but I also want you to know that I know your name is Herman, and I know you serve here every day. Or if you're brand new, hey, I may not know your name, but I will know your name at some point. And you're not going to try to, and I don't want you to try to have to figure out who leads the dream team. Like, you're going to know that I lead the dream team. And not a pride thing. It's just like, I want you to know that if you have a problem, you can come see me. Yeah. I want you to know if you need prayer, you can come see me. Like, shepherds smell like sheep. You just got to get in the trench with your team and just do it. And that don't mean you do everything. That means, honestly, like, my method is I try to get in and I try to help them make their thing awesome. Yeah. And so it's like, I threw out chickens at first Wednesday because, like, I wanted to serve on the team and the line was long, so I just started throwing chicken. It had nothing to do with me being the leader. It was just, I was the person that had the idea to throw chicken. Yeah. And I'm, some of that's like, I knew I couldn't get in trouble, but, like, so I just did it.
Yeah. Somebody asked for the manager. You are the
manager.
Yeah,
I am the manager. Yeah, there you go.
It makes me think of a Simon Sinek quote that I love. It says, leadership is not about being in charge. It's about caring for those in your charge.
That's right. That's right. Leadership is, I tell leaders, leadership is one of the best things you can be a part of. It is you take all the blame and you defer all the credit.
That's so good.
Take every bit of the blame. If something goes wrong, if someone called me right now and said there's a comb at the side of the street, I would say, hey, I'm so sorry. We forgot to grab the comb. I'll go grab it right now. It's on me. I'll go get it. Same thing, though, if someone said, man, the parking team got everybody out of here so fast. They smile. Yeah, they're the best team on the planet. Blake Stacy's one of the best leaders in this campus. I'm so glad he's on my team. Take all the blame. Take it. January calls it, you get punched in the face daily. Take all the blame and distribute all the credit.
So good. That's so good. I'd love to shift kind of now into just your personal leadership, how you lead yourself well. So what are some of the non-negotiables and how you lead yourself well in day-to-day life?
Yeah, so, I mean, non-negotiables, I'm a very negotiable guy. So, like, I do have a few, though. So I think the best way to explain this is the last 2 years, my only prayer that I've constantly prayed for the last 2 years is to be a present father and a loving husband. Mm-hmm. That's it. And it's like, and so my biggest non-negotiable, obviously, the first one, I'm a pastor. Time with God is like a non-negotiable. And I used to be extremely regimented on when it was, where it was, how it is, like all of that. But then I had a kid. and when I had a kid, I learned that and honestly, God had to walk me through this, is like, if my kid is up and wants me to hold her, I hold my kid. Because God gave me that kid.
Man, I saw you yesterday sitting in the lobby holding Journey. And Journey's 4?
She's 4 now.
4 now. Man, and it just was one of the most beautiful things I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just
2 years ago, that would have frustrated me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, I came here to pray. Like, I want to pray. And I did pray with her, but there is a piece of it that, like, God has softened my heart towards what, I get to be a part of an awesome ministry. And I would say until about 2 years ago, that ministry, I don't think it was ahead of, but it was close to the actual ministry of my home, which is like, now is like, January deserves to have the best husband on the planet.
Yeah.
And so what can I do to be that? Journey deserves a present father at all times. Like, not even like over the presence is such a baseline word. It's just like, just be there when she needs it. But like, so the non-negotiable for me is obviously my time with God. And what does that look like? I don't know. It just depends on the day. And it's like, but I'm not gonna miss time with God. I do a lot of walks. I do a lot of, when Journey goes to bed, I do a lot of walks down to the mailbox and down. I try to figure out ways, pray without season. I try to figure out ways to do it all day.
Yeah. Get the walkie-talkie prayers in.
Get the walkie-talkie, yeah. And then, some non-negotiables is time with my fam. Like, me and January sit down most Fridays, and we have a little date morning. That's kind of our sacred little thing. And from there, we plan out our family time for the week. And that's just extremely important to me. Yeah. And so non-negotiable, that's really the only one for me, is like, I'm going to have time with God and I'm going to have time with my family. I believe deeply in community. And so we plan out our community time with people. Like tonight, we're going to play Mahjong at a friend's house, and that is like extremely important to us. Working out and being active is extremely important to me. We do something active every day. That's in our family values.
And it's something you guys enjoy doing together.
Oh, yeah, right? We do it together a good bit. But something active every day is kind of just a value that we uphold. Like, God gave us a body, let's take care of it as much as we can. We try to eat healthy, we suck at it. But we just move a lot.
To kind of circle back to something you said just a second ago, you talked about your family being a non-negotiable, and I think about the parable of the talents. Yeah. And I think that every man has been given at least one talent to steward, maybe a couple. I'm a strong 2-talent guy. Yeah. I got my 2 talents. Okay. I know I'm not a 5. I'm a strong 2. But I think every man has been given at least one talent, and that talent is his family, to steward it. And so your primary responsibility is to steward your family first, and I really respect that about you, and you do a good job of that. I remember a couple months ago we met for coffee, and I remember leaving thinking, man, I wish we could do this more often, but I know we can't because you're not going to get here before 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning because you're spending that time with your family.
We do breakfast, man. And honestly, school is messing up breakfast a little bit. I'm real sad about it. She has to get to school earlier. And I don't know, man. I didn't grow up with my dad. And so, like, a lot of time, and me and my dad are great now. Like, I'm trying to get him to come to men's night tomorrow. But the that time, I just had a revelation 2 years ago that like, could get deep, but like the creator of the entire universe, like he could have put Journey at any point in eternity. He just plucked Journey out of eternity, gave her to us. We also have a lot of friends that, you know, at that time were walking through infertility issues. And so when it's that close to you and then you have one and then you're like complaining about not sleeping and doing all the things, and it's like,
they would give anything to
they
not
would
sleep
give
at night.
anything. And so I just had a real moment with God a couple of years ago that was like, no, I'm not going to be one of these dads that just like act like I have a kid, so what? You know, like I'm going to be the dad. I'm going to be the dad that if she does gymnastics, I'm going to be yelling at the floor routine. And I'm going to be, if she does whatever, I'm bringing juice boxes to everybody. You know, like I'm going to be present. Like that's the one thing I can promise. I'm gonna let her down. I'm gonna do something not right. But the reason I use the word present is because I can completely control that. I can't control that she don't like what I say. I can't control that, you know, whatever it is that dads and daughters get into. But I can control that I'm there. And so like if I'm there and I listen and I try, that's the effort in which she deserves, you know? She deserves to get a dad that's seeking after God, and then just there for her, you know. And so, it is extremely important to me. I could talk about it for a long time, but like but then the thing that the creator of the universe decided to allow us to have.
Man, that puts it in such perspective.
Yeah, I did parent-child dedication 2 weeks ago, and I'm telling parents this, and I'm like preaching to myself. It's like that the creator of the universe decided they all belong to God. We're all children of God. But the creator of the universe decided to let us like essentially borrow them and to steward them and to raise them and to point them back to him. Like like that responsibility of that alone is overwhelming. And so like your only response can be to steward that well. So all the other things like that you have, a job, your friends, like you chose those. You know, like you chose. If you're a lawyer, you chose to be a lawyer. If you're a construction guy, you chose. No matter what the circumstances of life that got you there, like you got to make a choice.
Yeah, but God chose you.
God chose you to have a child.
Yeah,
and it's overwhelming, you know, and not just chose you to have a child, chose to have your child. Like you created it, but like you didn't
get to build it in a factory and say, I want this personality and this. And
yeah. And so I think
now Journey is a lot like you.
Journey is me, but it feels like I've made her in a lab. But like but the thought is like the only response to that is to give that unit same thing with your wife. Like you chose your wife, you know, you chose her. God orchestrated it for you, hopefully, you know, but you chose her. I tell men all the time when they're complaining about their wife, I just say, hey, look, this is your idea. Remember, you got down on your knee and asked. Yeah. You know, so like, you fully knew what you were asking for when you got on your knee. So that unit, this unit that God has blessed you with, I call the family unit a unit a lot. This unit that God has blessed you with, your only response can be to give it everything you got. As a servant of an almighty God that blessed you with it. And so that realization for me is like everything else will take care of itself. Like obviously I got to do my job. I got to lead teams. I got to recruit, all those things. But more than anything, it's never in a million years anymore is going to get in front of the family unit.
So good. All right, I want to give you a chance to kind of spotlight. I want to talk a little bit about the What You Gonna Do podcast. Okay. So tell me a little bit about it. How did it come about? Where can we check it out?
Man, yeah, it's awesome. Jason Owenby and Jordan Henshaw really run point on that thing, and it was birthed out of them. Like we had a leadership. We have a leadership structure here at our church, and one of the things that they were passionate about is getting them more content. And so we were sending them podcasts. I listened to all the guys, Craig O'Shell, Chad Veach, Rich Wilkerson, Ryan Hall, like all of them. And so the thought was we'll just send them podcasts that I listened to. Well, then we learned that like we don't have control over what the the messaging is. If that's the case, like our is easier if I have something that I want to, kind of make it feel like is something curated and catered to our leaders, that we couldn't make it feel that way with someone else's podcast. So we decided to just start recording one.
That's
and
really
literally
cool.
we sit right here, and it is very low budget. And we do it. You can check it out on Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts. We put out an episode a month. We do some bonus episodes with some of our leaders and our Highlands College students. And what you get on that podcast is you get 3 guys that are actual friends and community. So we're modeling community on the podcast. And we wanted it to feel that way. It's modeling community. Like one podcast we talked about who can sit in a Waffle House the longest. And like we model community and what that looks like. But then we also talk through leadership of like specific things that we've run into this month. I'm on the ministry side. Jason's he's in the business sector, and then Jordan is in sales, and so it's kind of 3 different perspectives. I point it right here because he normally sits right there, but 3 different perspectives on different leadership topics that everybody can implement, and we just try to give those different perspectives on how we see things. And we all grew up very different too, so it's kind of 3 different. The community piece of modeling community and seeing what it's like to and get different perspectives is really where the money is in that. So
Yeah. It's a great podcast. I always love to listen to it. And the Waffle House where y'all talked about that was hilarious.
How long do you think you sit in Waffle House? If every waffle you get, you take an hour off.
I could probably be out of there pretty quick because I can eat a lot of waffles.
Really?
So I think I could probably be out of there in 6 hours or less.
Oh wow, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of waffles.
Yeah, that's only 14 waffles in 6 hours.
14 waffles is.
I could put down 7 waffles, wait a few hours, and then eat another 7.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I can put down some food.
I can put down food. Like bread, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do a lot.
Especially with us running every morning. So we're running at 4:45 every morning, 3 miles this
Yeah.
week. And with us running that much, I'm just eating like crazy. So, all right, sweet. Well, we're running out of time. So I want to give you one last wrap-up question, and then we'll kind of get out of here. But if you could sit across from a man listening right now and give him a piece of leadership advice, that can be about how to lead yourself well, how to lead your family well, how to lead in a larger setting well, what would that be?
Yeah, I think that's tough. I think one piece of advice I would give every man is protect the unit. I can't get away from it. It's like, hey, just the piece of your house is one of the best things you can do for your life is to be excited about getting into being with the unit. It's like, and so protect the unit at all costs. I think having your schedule, your priorities, like everything starts with the unit. I think before you say yes to go play golf, figure out what the unit's doing. Before you go plan a bros. Literally, one of my friends just texted me about going to a football game on Friday night, and the first thing I said is, let me check with the boss. Let me check with, and that doesn't feel, and she don't ask for that. And that's another piece of like, protect the unit at all costs. Yeah, your prayer time starts with the unit. Your week schedule starts with the unit. Everything starts with what does the unit need? What is the unit doing? And as a male, I think sometimes we get caught up in the things that we have to do for the unit that we forget about the unit.
Yeah. One thing I struggle with myself, or I found myself struggling with, is the time versus attention.
Yeah.
And so I will give my wife, my unit, time, but if I'm not giving her my attention, if we sit there together for 3 hours and all we do is watch a movie or I'm playing on my phone or whatever, but I'm not giving her my attention, then I'm not really protecting that unit like you're talking about. Like it's an intentional, I give you my attention, we are there together. We may be side by side doing something, we may be face to face doing something, but we're doing it together.
Yeah, and it's on you to figure it out. It's on you, like,
the buck stops with the man. At the end of the day, the buck stops with the husband.
If me and my wife sat there and watched the movie and that's what she wanted to do, then I protected the unit.
Absolutely.
It ain't on me to be like, but I want to give you more attention. It's like, no, this is what she wants to do. And I think we got to get back to, as men, being okay with we don't need a good job. We don't need a thank you. We're called to lead. And because and our wives we would love for our wives to cater to us a little bit more, but that's not what we're called to. We're called to lead and we're called to love. And obviously out of all of that, the residual effect to be both people will be happy. But I think if you're honoring God and protecting the family unit God has given you, then joy comes with that. Happiness is just a side effect of joy. And so I think the thought of protect that unit at all costs. And if you are spending time with your wife or your kids and you're like, I feel like this sucks, if that's what they want to do, praise God, because that's what God called you to do. So
good, bro. Well, thank you for being on the show today, man. Your wisdom is always appreciated, and I honestly wanted to do this just so I could get some time with you. So a little selfish here to have you on the episode, but man, I appreciate you and your wisdom and your impact on my life so much.
Thank you, buddy. So glad you asked me to be on, and you and Amanda are pretty great too. So
thank you, bro.
Glad y'all are friends.
I'm sure we'll have another one because we had a lot of stuff we did not get to. But thank you guys for listening to what is probably going to be a part one. We'll have him back on at some point if he'll be on. So
yeah, for sure. Thank you, guys.
Right. Thanks for listening.
All right.
Thanks for listening to the Unshaken podcast. Stay strong, stay rooted. Like and subscribe wherever you're listening, and share this with a man who needs to hear it. Drop a comment below. Let us know how we're doing, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram @Unshaken Men's Podcast. See you next time.